Play volleyball. I played professional volleyball in Europe, and then I play for the U.S. national team here in Anaheim, California. Jonathan Winder, I played at Pepperdine University in Malibu. I grew up in Irvine, California. I'm 25 years old. I was born in 1986, January 4th. Been married for about a year now to Jamie Rose, and we are living here in Irvine. See, I was born in San Francisco, and when I was 4 years old, my father passed away when I was living in Chicago with my family, and my mom moved us out to Irvine to be with a lot of friends and family. And a lot of my family lived in the area, and a lot of my dad's best friends lived in the area, and they kind of took over maybe the father figure, or some of the roles of the father that my that my mom didn't have in the house because my father had passed away. And they really helped to kind of guide me and to grow me up. They were my coaches and everything, and they were also heavily involved in the church. And so with that, my dad was a really strong believer and left a really strong legacy on my family. I think I've learned about life through volleyball is just, I think, God's timing. I think in volleyball you never know what's going to happen. Each and every little play is something really specific in its own, and you never know how it's going to turn out, but you kind of have to stay focused on the single point, the single play, and you cannot, if you get out of it and you start going past it, or you start looking around at the crowd, or you start kind of losing your mind in the situation, your performance is going to suffer, and you're not going to be able to be as focused and as attentive to details as you need to be. In the same way, with God kind of leading the way, He doesn't do things the way I would always choose. He does it in His own way. And if I'm not paying attention to Him and focused on Him, I'm going to have a hard time being okay with a lot of things that happen in life, because they're not going to happen the way you plan them. God will always make it happen His way so that He can be glorified above all else. And that's true. That's what I want. That's winning for me, is God being glorified. And so that's kind of that's one really big reason why I think volleyball is awesome, and why I've really enjoyed volleyball in the whole learning process and about God. In Europe, God is not known as much as He is known in the U.S., and He's not as famous as He should be. And so a lot of youth especially don't know God. They don't know Jesus Christ, and they don't know the joy that can come and the peace that can come from having Jesus in your life. And so when I go overseas, I've just really learned that it's a tremendous opportunity to share God with others, and you have a tremendous platform from being an athlete, from being on a team, and you kind of have an instant door into some of the lives of your teammates, because you're teammates, and that's just a different bond than a random person on the side of the road. And there's an instant level of trust there. God helps me to handle the pressure in matches and in practices by being an outlet. He's somebody who I can talk to in the middle of the point, and it's not a therapy session for 30 minutes with God, but it's just an opportunity, knowing that the Holy Spirit is there with me on the court in the midst of any situation. It will always be a similar thing, because I am always going to have Him there, regardless of who's watching me, regardless of who's around. I know I always have God with me while playing volleyball.